Hi everyone, so it's me, Andrew. I feel like I'm doing an ASMR video because I'm not in frame, only in my hands. Hello! Because MCM Expo is so close, and because I actually didn't have enough time to make anything, I decided to cosplay as Noctis again, and since I made the jacket before, I'm gonna do the shirt because I gave the shirt to my friend who was wearing it for the photo shoot that I recently did with my friends. So I thought it would be a good idea for you to watch me do this. I'm not sure if it will be interesting. This is basically just a cheap way on how to do Noctis's t-shirts. I know some people would print it onto the t-shirt or they would paint it on. For me, I'm going to use a fabric pen, and you can get fabric pens pretty much anywhere. So this one I got is from a light fabric. I'm pretty sure I got this from the London Graphic Centre. And so I got a shirt which I got from Primark. I'm sure you can find like any like dark grey shirt to use. Some people might use like black or anything lighter than black for Noctis, so it's a good contrast for you to actually see the skulls that you'll be drawing on to the shirt. Obviously you need reference pictures, which I have on my phone right now, some tape. I got two kinds of tape, which is Alex tape and duct tape, which, in fact, this is actually belongs to my prompt too. So, you'll need that, and if you have something flat, because I don't really have that much flat surface to do some of my stuff on. So I have these boards over here, which I've gotten from the back of like an old wardrobe that I really wanted to use mainly for cosplay. So that's what I'm going to put my shirt over, and that's why I have the tape, because I'm just going to go tape the back of the shirt so there's no like excess fabric when I draw the skulls onto. Hey everyone, so as you can see, I've put the t-shirt on a card over here and I've duct taped it. I thought I needed Alex tape, but I really don't need it. Alex tape not really good for clothing. I have it just in case. So obviously I need it to be tight on this board, and I did a really bad job on doing this. Luckily, this is only for me, so the only person who will care about it the most is me. So you want it to be tight and flat and smooth so you don't get any bumps when you draw on. Sometimes people use clips, that'd be easy to be honest. But I have tape at the moment. If you have something that you can draw on, like what I have right here, which you can tell I've used it for multiple uses. Some people put paper underneath the t-shirt so the ink doesn't bleed through. Since I do have this and I use it mainly for cosplay, I don't care if it does show up on the board, to be honest. So yeah, so let's get started. So when you're looking for reference pictures, you really want really nice high quality pictures. You can't see it right now, but you can, I think if you can look close enough, you can see the details in Noctis's t-shirt. So I'm the kind of person who isn't really fussed on it being like 100% accurate, but as long as it vaguely looks the same when I put it onto the t-shirt, then I'd be satisfied. I know people have their own standards and expectations on how they want their cosplay to look like, but I'm going to do my best to make it look like these. And as you can tell, like, there are very tiny, well, not so tiny, but small crosses on Noctis's t-shirt, and it kind of like a few of them like scattered across down his shirt. As you can tell, I've started to freehand the skulls on top of the t-shirt, and I find this kind of fairly easy instead of using stencils, because Noctis's shirt, in terms of the skulls and the pattern on his shirt, it's really inconsistent, so I mean, there's a pattern to follow, but you can, what's great about it is that you can make mistakes on this t-shirt and no one will really notice, and that's really cool. But obviously there are some costumes in terms of like Promptos vest, for example, where they're all lines, and that's it's almost easy to follow, but it's also kind of complicated at the same time because you want it to be symmetrically right and straight as well. For if you're someone like me, I'm not really good at drawing straight lines, even with the ruler. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at the reference picture, also switching back and forth on other reference pictures at the same time to do the skulls. So I'm just, as you can tell, I'm just doing this. Like I said before, I'm usually the type of person to freehand a lot of the time, which, I mean, comes with really bad experiences sometimes. I mean, some people like to do freehand and some people like to use stencils, or some people like to do both. And you do you. You can do whatever you want. Also, with Noctis's t-shirt, it's not just, I mean, obviously it's skulls and bones, but there are just some patterns here. There's some shapes here that aren't really like bone effect, so you can get away with not drawing the most perfect skull for Noctis. And sometimes what one of the downsides of doing freehand with this for Noctis is that you kind of forget what the reference and what the actual outfit looks like sometimes. So sometimes you might have to end up blagging what the t-shirt will look like in the end. There are some references where, for example, there are the motion, the animated scenes and the cutscenes that you see when you're playing the game, or when you're watching someone play the game in a playthrough. It might end up looking a bit different. Some of the details of the costumes, but because this new Final Fantasy game is so greatly designed, it will have the majority of, you know, all the details that you would expect, or even not expect. So with fabric pens, especially some fabric pens, sometimes the paint will not go through properly through the fabric, so you're gonna have to draw on top of it all over again. You have to also keep an eye on how you carefully shade some of the parts in as well sometimes, depending if you have other colours besides black. The reason why I bought these fabric pens was because I was making tattoo sleeves for my Nuke cosplay from Pacific Rim, and I did a stencil, and then I did a stencil, I think, out of a biro pen, and then ended up like doing all the details on top and outlining it with black fabric pen. So that's what I mainly use this for. So I had to stop for a moment because I ran out of reference pictures. I had to find more reference pictures. The well-known fact about Noctis's t-shirt is that it probably won't be 100% accurate, because despite Square Enix giving us reference pictures for all these characters' costumes, there isn't enough detail that we actually want to pay attention to the most for these. So it is okay whatsoever. It's okay if it doesn't look exactly right. This is the cheap option to do Noctis' t-shirt. I mean, you can buy it online without having to do this hassle that I'm doing, but if you want to try something new, you want to try a bit of this, then you can totally try it out. So yeah. Also, it's totally okay to actually base Noctis's t-shirt on other products and companies and whoever's selling or doing these t-shirts for your Noctis t-shirt, and that's totally fine because they have a more clearer reference than what you can find online. Obviously you can look in the game if you want, but sometimes in terms of inconvenience, and if you're pushed for time like I am, you might want to get it done, well, not as fast as you can, but also getting it done to the way that you'd like it to look okay for your standards. Hey everyone, so as you can see I finished doing Noctis. It doesn't look completely great when I look back on my actual t-shirt, but I really like the result that I've done. So what's great about fabric pens is that it will tell you, and it should tell you in the packaging when you get it, is how long it will take for you to dry it and what temperature you need it for when you wash it as well, and when you iron it, so that's great. So I'm going to wait for this to dry, and then I'm going to iron it so it can stay on this t-shirt forever. And yeah, and then my Noctis t-shirt's done, so thank you so much for catching up with me and watching me do this. Thanks everyone, I'll see you on the next video, bye.